What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Chaos Zero Nightmare video. Today let's talk about memory fragments, which is essentially gear. So one thing I want to clarify real fast, and let's go and just jump into our characters real quick so I can tell y'all what I'm talking about here. So memory fragments are going to be this section, and we're going to go over everything you need to know, as well as how to start off getting these and my recommendations and how to be as sufficient as possible. But one other thing that you might get confused with is the equipment here under save data. These are equipment you get in the chaos runs, and then of course, right, you can use these, or they count as their effects when you do other areas of the game, such as farming for memory fragments, for example, or just doing any, battle stages, certain events, things like that. So just differentiate real quick that these equipment slots, the weapon, the armor, and the ring, are completely separate than the memory fragments. Memory fragments also are gear, but think of them as kind of like, additional, I guess they call them, I'm not sure the lore reasons, guys. Unfortunately, I'm a story skipper, but maybe you guys in the comments below can tell me what this stuff is. But the shock, suppression, denial, ideal, desire, imagination, I think of them as gear, and these are like stuff we can equip, and they will give very important stats, which I want to break down on talking about the best ones and why maybe you shouldn't over farm. But we'll get into all of that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's jump straight into it. First things first, this is the simulation area, where you get all your growth, combatants, partners, potential, all that stuff to level up your characters, as well as memory fragments. Now, this is going to be unlocked at level 25. Take note of that. We're going to also talk about why and when you should be farming, because, it is pretty important here to be efficient, as this game, Chaos Zero Nightmare, isn't the most friendly. I would even say it's a little bit stingy with Aether recharging, the energy system, and how much we get, and how much really you get out of spending this. So just take note of that. Keep that in the back of your mind as we discuss today's topic, which is memory fragments. So once we unlock this at 25, let's just go ahead and take a quick look at what we can get here. There's different sets, and this is going to cost 60 Aether or energy per run. Now, every single one of these has different stats, and of course, too, guys, like in a lot of other games, the main stat and the substats, some of it can roll on certain pieces, and then some characters want certain main stats, substats, and all that. Where we are at in the game, so I'm pushing level 43. A lot of y'all, I don't know, anywhere from like level 20 to 40 as well. This is not the most important thing just yet. And until you get like full legendary gear with like great stats, you don't want to be over farming or, spending too much Aether to get these gear. And I'll have some tips as to how to fish for extra legendaries later on in the video. But overall, let's just take a quick look at the sets real fast. And just understand that, right, like in other games with gearing, there's a main stat and substats as well as the set bonus. And certain items can have different main stats, and we'll break that down in here in a second. So you just have different set bonuses, and there are 6 pieces of gear like I showed y'all earlier. And some of these I think are a little bit better than others, depending on who you have. But in terms of efficiency, I really like this set, guys, because I play characters like Felipe and Haru. And so if you guys notice, for a 4 set, 20% crit chance is very nice. And then additionally, this will work for, cards that cost 2 or more, beautiful for the higher cost characters, just like Felipe Haru. Other ones that I will probably be showing you guys here are, oops, I didn't mean to go straight into that, but I believe it is this one here. You have the passion set. So there's elements as well. Just think of passion, guys, as fire. You have things like passion, instinct. They don't always correlate, like justice is water or blue, but you will have to familiarize yourself with the element and the color. But just understand, right, if it matches your character, then of course you will get those added benefits. So this is the set I'm rocking on my Mei Ling, and I'll show you guys that build here in a little bit. So this is very nice too, because when you farm this, the second set is 25% crit damage. Now this may not be the best, as I believe there is like a oh, this is also a very nice set, guys. Take note of this one, the Seth Scarab set. Damage, shield, healing of basic cards by 20. Very good for healers, very good for Felipe, a lot of characters. You have like 12% attack there. Void, so if you guys are running Void characters, what is that, like Kairon, I believe, Tressa? Things like that, that could be really cool. Order comes with Agony, which is a little awkward because, Tressa can't be farming that. But yeah, just a lot of cool effects, and try to find one that suits your character, and hopefully as well you pick one that has, both sets are decently usable, right? They don't got to be perfect, but at least decently usable. So where does that lead us next? Well, we have the farm area, and this is what I want you guys to farm in the beginning. Don't be over farming this. I keep mentioning that, and the reason for that is, one, it's not very efficient, right? We're gonna, at level 25, I believe you can only get up to blue gear, which is not amazing. It's still decent. I'm even using a lot of blue gear here. But the main reason too is the fact that it's not efficient, and they give us a set amount that we want to farm. So if you go over to the not the supply area, the activity, the growth page that I told you guys about, another guide. Let's scroll back a few missions here. I believe it's like around level 4 or 5. So one of these two. Let's see. Maybe it is level 5 here in the growth pass. So if you're not here yet, you will find about this soon. Yes, right here. Complete memory fragment simulation 12 times. Okay, so you notice I've only farmed this area 15 times total. In fact, I even just did 3 today for fun because I needed one more piece for my Haru. But in general, I sat at 12 just to complete this for a long time, and I just chose very efficient sets just to get us off the ground running and to have some set bonuses on our characters, right? Because until you fully max them and min max, the stat gains and bonuses aren't the most impactful, but having things like 20% crit chance for like your Haru, and then you start getting the cards or epiphanies that like return cards to your hand if you crit, very, very nice. And just having crit in general is good on dealers for the most part, right? I don't know all the characters in the game, but for the most part, you know, damage dealers like crit chance. So on this one, also the second set is defense. So this is great just on my supports. Added healing if you didn't know that. Defense scales off healing and shields. And then of course, Kalipe, Magna, and who else? Maribel will want defense anyway. So that's a nice set. The other one I showed you guys too, if you play Mei Ling. Passion for Mei Ling, you have it for Selena. I believe Veronica. I don't have Veronica yet, but I think she's Passion, right, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And then you have crit damage, which is always a great set. So just try to find a try not to be farming like too many different areas, because chances are you're not going to get every single piece that you need in the right slot. So, you know, sometimes you can't avoid it, guys, depending on whatever your comp is. Like I was showing y'all here, there's like Agony, but then the void damage, you know, is on a different set for like Tressa, for example. So that just might be awkward. But bonus points, if you are just running like Mei Ling, then this is a one-size-fit-all simulation battle, and you will be able to fill out your slots very easily. So just a quick heads up on like how to start farming this. Only do the 12 runs necessary and then wait until legendary gear to farm more. Now let's go ahead and jump into specific gearing, and I want to talk about what gear to pick and what to level. Okay, so I can just show you guys what I'm working with right now. And remember, this is not perfect yet, as the game really pigeonholes you in terms of how much you can do in a day. Even refreshing as, you know, a light spender and things like that, you still can't do a ton, because you're kind of very hard capped on the Aether. So my suggestion, just based off playing a lot of games like this, is to focus more on the right side gear. And honestly, just don't worry too much about gear in general. But if you can, and you like to min max, then as you guys can see here, just like I told y'all, I have a 4 set of passion card bonus, which is very nice for her, you know, strikes, and then a bonus crit damage too is really, really good on top for when we do end up critting. So how do we crit more? Well, if you guys notice, the main stat on this right side piece of gear is crit chance. You may not get it, and if unfortunately you know, the higher quality the item is, the more of the main stat you get. Like if you guys notice here, this green that I was just leveling before I got the blue, even at max, if I upgrade, or sorry, I think actually level 3 is the highest. You only get 6% crit compared to a level 4, right? This can level be up to 4, and you get 15% crit right there. Here's the Mei Ling one. So overall, I think right side gear is worth upgrading, as 15% crit plus, let's say you get the set bonus too, is a sizable stat increase that we can just get. And I believe, I'm pretty sure this even works in just chaos runs too, right? All the stuff we equip there should be prevalent as well during our chaos runs, which is awesome. That'll make our chaos runs better and all that. I could be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure that these work there, because they're just on your character, just like potentials and stat gains from leveling and all that. So for Mei Ling, this is just an example. I'm not going to go over every single character, but I'll show you a few more of just basic gearing. So I leveled the right side gear, and I'm going to save the rest of my resources for the left side, as you don't get as much stats. A lot of times they're like flat stats, and we're primarily using the left side gear just for these set bonuses. So for Kalipe, and this one is not min maxed, eventually I will try to get her the crit chance here. I'll show you guys. I want to get Kalipe the crit chance on costs of 2 or more, like I said at the start of the video. And Haru here is also the same idea, guys, just 15% crit, as crit really benefits when she's slamming those anchors. And then, you know, we have crit damage to top on top of that too. So this adds a lot of stats and just a lot of free damage. If you can get this, you know, once again, don't over farm, start with 12 runs. And if you need a few more runs, hey, why not? And then, you know, for Kalipe, I'm just rocking HP and defense. with another crit chance main stat. Eventually this will change to the crit stat bonus. And then last but not least, I'll show you guys just a quick support idea. If you guys want to just throw on some gear, I have like the Healer's Journey, the Chester's Authority, which will also give us more healing too. And then Seth's Scarab, the one I showed you all at the start of the video. We get some damage, or sorry, shield healing on our cards, which is just nice added bonuses. And the healing is really good for later content, or sorry, not the healing, the health, as enemies hit really hard once you start getting into the zero chaos mode, which is, you know, the end game content where you add and ramp up difficulty exponentially. Okay, so let's move on from here, but real quick, we'll recap. Remember, guys, don't over farm this, as we're only going to be getting blue gear once you hit level 25. And even where I'm at 43, it's still pretty rare to get legendaries. And stay tuned, I'm going to talk about one thing I've been noticing and I'm going to try out here moving forward to get more legendary gear instead of actually farming in the simulation. But, you know, just farm what you can, and remember, only go to start with 12 runs, as that's the minimum you're going to need to complete this growth quest, which is, you know, we really want to complete these to keep moving on. So start with 12, focus on a good set bonus, and don't break the bank. Don't over farm. Just give your character some set bonuses that are relevant. And if you want to go the extra mile, start picking up good sets, mainly for your damage dealers, and focus on the right side pieces of gear, as they will give the main stats that are more important, more bang for your buck. Okay, as we get into the late game, let's say a month from now, then we'll be min-maxing perfect sets, perfect substats, and all legendary gear and all that. But for now, I highly recommend, with how stingy Aether and Endry is in this game, to not over farm these, as you will, you know, if you're unlucky getting the right piece of gear, you could really just burn too many resources and fall behind a little bit in efficiency. Now, the last bit of info, guys, and unfortunately my recording from the stream that I did got deleted, but I just recorded at the end of the run. You'll just have to trust me on this, and I know you guys have experienced this, but you have 4 of these loot certification cards, and you can see here I already used all 4 this week. But these are used at the end of the cast runs, and you'll get some big account XP, as well as you see a lot of modules, the memory fragments drop. And what I've been doing lately is, once you get to the higher tier gear, you see a lot of legendaries drop once you get to the higher zero system. And you can actually just wait till you find those set bonuses you want. So that's how I got those scarabs. That's how I got some of the 20% crit for 2 cost cards for Haru. And that's how I'm going to be using these moving forward. Additionally, too, keep in mind, guys, once you use all 4 of these, you can actually buy, you can still buy at the end, even if you don't have any of these, but it will cost a refresh. So what I mean by that is, if you guys are more free to play and you haven't been doing this, oh shit, I can't show you all because I've used all my refreshes, but essentially you can recharge your Aether by using these crystals per day, and it starts at 60, ramping up to 70, 100, 150. Essentially, you have 8 of these a day, and instead you can actually use these in the chaos runs. This is more of a side tech. Once you guys hit like 40 plus, I'm going to experiment, instead of farming, because I think the farming is a lot rarer. Instead, I'll just do my chaos runs, and then when I see a good piece of legendary of the right set drop, I'll try my luck there, because we can't see the stats, but we can see the set bonus and we can see the rarity. So legendaries on the right set I've been picking up, and that's where I'll be going forward in terms of getting some good legendary gear. So try that out when you guys hit 40 plus, and let me know how your results happen. In the meantime, stop by the live streams. A lot of y'all been checking in to say, say hi and ask questions, just hang out. I've been streaming every single day, 8+ hours. So I hope to see y'all there. Thank you so much for watching. More guides on the way, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.